What's going on YouTube? It's Maffu here, and I'll be talking about the truth of being a mid-spender in Rise of Kingdoms. Now, what is a mid-spender? So, a mid-spender is someone who's not free to play, but they're not completely a whale. Maybe they spend like $50 to $200 a month on the game, and they don't get any insane bundles like the whales do. And that's who I am. That's how I play the game, and this is to be kind of how it feels to be that kind of middle class in Rise of Kingdoms. First and foremost, let's talk about the struggles. You are too strong to be ignored on the battlefield, but you're not strong enough to dominate. I really felt that this past zone. So in the zone 5, I felt strong, I could trade good, but when the fighting slowed down and it turned into more of them cheeseburgering us and there weren't any real good ball fights, I couldn't go into their zone and dominate. That's why I was really struggling to get KP in this KVK, because I couldn't really fight the way I wanted to, because I just wanted to run in there and get tons of good reports. But I know this KVK is going to be a long one, and I want to save resources for the later end of the KVK. And it's kind of this mixture of, should I fight with bad trades and get more KP, or should I trade good, save my resources for the later half of the KVK? And that's what I opted out for. I tried to fight smartly and get good trades and get good KP while saving resources, but I couldn't dominate the battlefield like a whale could. I also felt like my marches were targeted a lot. This might be partially because I was a YouTuber, or I might be just coping right here. But I feel like whenever someone jumped out of their city, they were instantly hitting my march first, especially my Joan. My Joan got targeted a lot. It is T4, which is why people might be hitting it more than the T5, but I felt like it, even in ball fights, like the small ball fights where you can still see people's names and what troops they have, I feel like people would just jump out of their cities and start hitting my marches. So I feel like it's because people kind of know what gear I sort of have at this point on my marches, and they just know that they would trade good into it. So that was really annoying. That was really annoying. I wish I could just power up and use full T5, but I can't. And the biggest struggle for me is it's hard to keep up with the meta commanders. And what I mean by that is, for example, this new archer commander that got released, QSH, I cannot max him. I can't use him. And he's so good, he's so broken. I just really want to use him and I can't. I don't have the gear, I don't have the armaments, I don't have the gold heads. And as a mid spender, I gotta use the marches I have. I got BQ Luce, I got Expertise Alex, and I got Joan Arthur. Those are just the marches I have, and I have to use them. And even if I wanted to get QSH, it's just not going to happen. Even if I start putting gold heads in him, he's not going to be ready to get used until maybe like KVK 5, KVK 6. So it's going to be way down the line. And by then, he might be out of meta. The new Cav commander that's coming out might be better than him. So for the moment, I am saving my gold heads. I am going to be spinning him in the wheels when he comes around and stuff like that, but for the gold heads, I'm not going to just instantly throw them into him. I'll be saving up and seeing what the options are in the future. Now, what are the perks of being a mid-spender? I get decent commanders. I got BQ Luce. I got Joan Arthur. They're decent. They're not amazing. They're not the best. But I have decent commanders, and I got decent gear as well. I got a full legendary set with legendary accessories on my BQ Luce, and I got a half legendary set on my Cav March. And I got these without having to insanely grind. As you guys know, I do chain the KVK barbs, the Season Conquest ones, but I'm not chaining them as much as I probably could have. And it kind of helps the grind, being able to buy a couple bundles here and there. But I don't buy bundles, I usually get the pop-ups. So getting the pop-ups here and there, get some legendary materials, that helps the grind a little bit. Now, another perk of being a mid-spender, you can still have fun in the open field fights and small battles in Rise of Kingdoms. Now, this is true for all spending levels. You can have fun, but definitely for the mid-spender, you're not trading as badly. And now I have 2 decent marches. I can get basically essentially double the KP. It's not actually that, but like 1.5 times the KP I would have gained with 1 march. Now, I will say free-to-play can compete if they all invested everything into 1 march. 1 march is the most important thing in this game. If you can get 1 decent march, you'll be able to trade against the big whales, because they'll have 5 of these decent marches, but in a ball fight, it doesn't really matter how many marches you have, because you're not getting swarmed. And I will say, being a mid-spender is very nice because you're more flexible than the whales. If you're a whale in the comment section, you know you feel forced to max everything. I know people in my lines have talked about it. When a new good bundle comes or a new good event comes, you feel forced to max everything because you already spent so much and your count's so good, you don't want it to fall behind the other whales. I don't feel forced to max anything. I feel completely fine skipping pop-ups. I feel completely fine not getting dailies. Yeah, the whales I do feel like you guys get kind of forced into buying things at this point in the game, but hey, as long as it's in your budget and you're having fun, then who cares really. Now I'm going to talk about the mental game of being a mid spender, because I always want to spend a little bit more. I see a good bundle, I want to get it. I see pop-ups, I want to get it. I see events, I want to play them, especially the cosmetic event that just passed. I really wanted the the jellyfish. Oh my god, the jellyfish looks so cool. But hey, I gotta be mindful that I can't afford it, and hey, I gotta watch it go past. I can still have fun with my account and where I'm at in the game, so I'm not too worried, but I am tempted to spend that little bit more. And maybe one day I will, once I make some more money. But we'll see. Another one is feeling the gap widen between a mid spender and a whale. As you guys know, there's some things in the game that the gap is still close in, such as armaments. But with that recent bundle, the alchemy one they put in the shop, that whales can get every single day, and you basically have infinite refreshes on your armaments, it definitely felt like the gap got a little bit wider. Even with the gear gap, it just gets wider and wider every single day. But that's just the nature of the game. As long as I'm improving my own account, I'm pretty happy. But yeah, it's hard to not compare yourself against everyone else in your kingdom, in the enemy kingdoms, because those are the people you're fighting with and against. So yeah, I just gotta be better at that. And the last but not least is balancing real life and game spending. This is a hard one. I always do feel tempted to restock my dailies and my gem supply. Now I think in this upcoming month I will not get the dailies or gem supply, but maybe the month after that I can get it again, because I do have to save some money. But yeah, it definitely is hard. It feels like I should be spending on this game when I play it, but they do make spending fun, so that is the trade-off. The next thing I want to talk about is that free-to-play think that you're rich. I mean, I will say spending like 100 to 200 bucks on the game per month does feel like a lot, even for me, but it's in no way a lot of money. It is a good amount of money, but it's not like crazy. And having people in my chat or my comments call me rich is actually just feels really weird, because it's not even, I feel like it's not even that crazy. But I feel like they're also children that are typing that rather than adults. But I do feel like mid spender is the most enjoyable way to play the game. You're not forced to spend too much money, and you still have a good balance of good gear and good commanders. Now you might not have the best of best, but you still have good stuff to have fun. It's still competitive, but it's not super financially draining as a whale would have been. So if you can do it, I recommend playing Rise Games low spender, mid spender. I think that's like the prime way to play the game. I would say mid spender, you maybe get dailies, you get pop-ups, you get gem supply, and that's it. You don't get any bundles. And I do think that's the best way to play the game. If you're a new player and hey, you want to be a mid spender, just keep in mind that the bundles, you don't need them. Even for egg event, that's just gonna go over your budget. I would just stick to the core of getting the dailies, getting the pop-up bundles, and getting the gem supply, and that's it. I'll call it there. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a little bit of a different style video that I usually do, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.